I'm going to quote Carol Browner for the first time in my career and agree with two things that she has said that I think are very important to the consideration of this legislation. The point I want to make is, number one, I have gone down to the floor 4 different times and objected to Menendez when he came up wanting to lift the caps and have an open-ended liability, stating that this would be a great boon for big oil and for the national oil companies such as in China. And the reason is that this would make it impossible for independents, for American companies, to actually participate in the Gulf. It would be impossible to do it. This is not just me saying this. Carol Browner said, so it will mean that you only have large companies in this sector, but maybe this is the sector where you really need large companies who can bring to bear the expertise and who have the wherewithal to cover the expense if something goes wrong. In other words, she's saying just the big oil and the national oil companies. Now, others are going to talk about the jobs. I would only make one comment. That is, the IHS Global says that this would cost, in the Gulf region, not just in Louisiana, but in the whole Gulf region, some 300,000 jobs by 2020. Now put that up if you could, please. And this gives you an idea of where those jobs are. These are the shale deposits that would be just huge. And so if you look at this map and you see the number of members of the state who would be directly affected by this, it's very significant. Now, if you get the next chart up, the second thing, the last thing I'm going to mention, is hydraulic fracturing. I'm familiar with this because we did the first hydraulic fracturing in Oklahoma in 1949, and this is the way it works. It goes down through the aquifer. This is about 300 feet here. This is down about 2 miles. There's never been a case, not in the history of using this technology, that they have had any contamination of the aquifer. It's never happened in 60 years. And to show that it hasn't happened in 60 years, I will again quote our friend Carol Browner, who said there's no evidence that the hydraulic fracturing issue has resulted in any contamination or endangerment of underground sources of drinking water. This is something that slipped in at the last minute. I had no idea until 10 o'clock last night that they're going to try to do away with hydraulic fracturing. You do away with hydraulic fracturing, you do away with natural gas production.